Real quick, before I get into this, I gotta tell you, when I first recorded my initial impression on this thing, I almost gave you guys the wrong verdict. Stick around and I'll tell you exactly what happened because it might save you some confusion too if you end up grabbing one of these. So here's the thing, if you've got a gaming PC or just sitting in front of a monitor all day, you know how it is. The stock speakers or the tiny ones that are built into the monitor, they just don't cut it. Dialogue sounds thin, bass is non existent, and if you're gaming, you're missing footsteps and explosions that actually matter. I didn't want to build out some giant home theater setup just to fix that. I wanted something compact that actually sounded good, and honestly, something that looks good on the desk too. Now, that's what brought me to this TAGWOOD setup here. It's a soundbar with a subwoofer. When it showed up, the box had everything you need: the soundbar itself, the wire subwoofer, an HDMI cable, aux cable, remote, and the manual. Nothing extra to buy, and nothing was missing either. Setup took just a couple minutes. The subwoofer connects straight to the back of the soundbar with the included cable. Simple as that. For the soundbar, you've got options here: HDMI ARC cable into your TV or monitor, optical if your setup uses that, a USB, a 3.5 millimeter aux cable, or Bluetooth if you just want to stream from your phone or laptop with no cables at all. That's a lot of ways to hook up one soundbar. Once it's hooked up, the sound is where this thing earns its spot. The subwoofer is not huge, but you feel it. There's real depth to the bass. Movies and games get that punch behind explosions and low-end music, and it doesn't turn into a muddy mess when you push it. The mids and highs stay clear too. Dialogue comes through crisp instead of getting buried, which honestly was half the reason I wanted an upgrade in the first place. Then there's the RGB lighting. It syncs to whatever you're playing, music or game audio. It genuinely looks great sitting under the monitor. Small detail, but it makes the whole setup feel more finished. Now, here's the moment mentioned at the start. I already knew the soundbar has its own volume buttons, but out of habit with my usual setup, I keep my speakers around 60 to 70% and control the rest through my keyboard. I didn't do the same setup with the soundbar. So when I cranked up the volume to max on my keyboard, I was honestly not very impressed with how loud this thing was getting. It's not until a few days later when I decided to test out the Bluetooth feature that I realized how loud this thing actually can get. Like I mentioned, that older setup of mine is pushing around 400 watts. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this competes with a dedicated 400 watt system because it doesn't. And that wouldn't be fair to say. But for what it is, a compact two-piece setup like it is, it gets seriously loud. There's actually something else I noticed with how this sits on a desk. With a normal left and right speaker setup, you can kind of tell the sound is coming from two separate points, one on each side. This one's different. Because of the way the speakers fire upward off the desk, it doesn't feel like it's coming from the left or the right. It just kind of fills the room. It's hard to put into words, but it feels like it wraps around you instead of hitting you from two directions, and it stays crisp the whole time. Between the sound quality, the amount of ways you can connect to it, and RGB lighting that actually looks good instead of gimmicky, this is, in my opinion, one of the best soundbars I've used recently in this price range. If you're tired of thin, tiny sound and you want something that fills the room without a complicated setup, I'd give this one a shot.